weird. I must have the bottom of the box or something like that because it's breaking the box to open this. All right. Okay. Yeah. Well, so every tractor probably needs a mini SAS cable. This one here goes from QSFP to 8088. So clearly your tractor is going to need one of those. Rail mount system for said tractor. And I'm looking for something in particular here. No. Oh, we're gonna have to flip this guy. Alright, we set it back down. Take the tractor rail systems and put them to either side. And take this cable, set it off to the side. And then dig down in here and, oh, ooh. There we go. All right, so of course, if your tractor has a server, you're going to want some storage to go with it. And so we have a DS4246, I believe this is, which, let's check. Ooh. And the gentleman selling it to me was nice enough to pre-install these guys for me. 2 terabyte SAS style hard drives. There should be 10 in here, I believe. Wow. And look at that. Bam. So 24 slots, and you know, the eventual plan is absolutely to have these guys completely full. But as it stands, I think I'm going to end up with like 17 or 18 terabytes. No, wait, that can't be right. We're doing RAID Z3, I believe it is. So we're not going to end up with 20 terabytes, obviously. We're going to have very, very, very redundant data, because you never want to lose your data on your tractor. And, you know, with all the bumps and stuff. Okay, there we go. This is what an empty bay looks like. And 3.5 inch drive just goes right in there. And so we've got potentially 20 terabytes. Obviously, they're not real terabytes because hard drive manufacturers want to fluff up their number just like ISPs do. And so rather than give you megabytes as everybody else understands them, you know, ISPs give you megabits, and then hard drive manufacturers give you a metric style representation. So 124 kilobytes in a megabyte is what the rest of the world does, and they're going to do an even 1,000 per. So you get just a slight bit less than they say, which is incredibly deceptive and quite stupid because everybody else knows what's going on. But how interesting. So they're all marked, which is really neat, if you noticed. So that says 2 terabytes. This says 600 gigabytes. But, you know, that's just the marking on a caddy, essentially. So you can see that that's 2 terabytes. That's funny. I'm not going to be that serious, and I'm not playing with these things and moving them back and forth, other than because that action is just so smooth and cool, and it looks neat too. Yep. So, oop. First failure. There she goes. So what this is something I don't fully understand, basically. It is a disk shelf, and I'm going to connect it to my server that we just got, and it's going to be connected by not that cable. I'm going to have to actually turn around and sell that cable. It goes to SFF8088, which I don't have a connector for. I have the newer server, the 730. And so that cable right there will go and just plug right into a 720 style external SAS connector. And besides that being kind of bad because you're going to lose something, I mean, this is QSFP, so I think our max on that is 40 gigabytes. And then, of course, your SAS cable is limited by a number of things, but the 8088, I believe, is limited to basically 6 gigabits a second, which is actually, when you think about it, probably fine, because the hard drives that are actually installed in this thing, let's see if it actually says on there somewhere. Come on. Man, this first one kind of sticks. Let's see what it says. It should tell us. Yep, right there. They're limited to that, each individual one. Now, if I was to RAID them in some other fashion, I could probably overcome some of that limitation. Man, that one really likes to stick. I wonder if I have to have a hard drive in the first slot here. I might move that guy around. But as it stands, I think the version that I've picked is strictly mirroring, but I will have to check because we're going to use ZFS to store all this data, because the entire point of this is to make sure that your tractor never, ever, 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 ever loses data. So we're going to set up a situation where we can lose 2 hard drives out of our array and be totally fine and still have all our tractor data. And then once we get up and running like that, we are going to load this thing full of hard drives and see if we can't overcome the limitations on hard disk space whenever you do that aggressive of mirroring, and possibly go a little quicker. And that should be attainable, I believe. But the one thing that I'm kind of curious about is this guy is physically one piece, if you look. Oh, it's got nice little handles there too. Clearly this was expensive whenever it was new, but it was new a while ago. It's actually got 2 IOM6s in it, and I'm curious, so you can kind of see it separated right here. I think there's one for each one of these things, and that's a controller, and I don't know if I need additional cables to make sure that I'm accessing both of them, since it looks like, if I had to guess, all my hard drives are loaded. Yep, if he loaded them sequentially. Yeah. See, I think just one of these is loaded at the moment, which is fine. I don't have enough hard drives to even fill this based off of what I have at the house. And I would probably want them all to be more or less the same hard drives anyway, and mine are not. I've got, 3 or 4 4 terabyte reds, 2 or 3 8 terabyte reds. I've got some blacks, and I think the intention is they're all going to end up in here, because the server that I have is the SFF form factor, or is it SLL? So many acronyms that are very, very close together. Basically, all that really means is my server only has a backplane for 2.5-inch drives, and there are 2 of them arriving tomorrow. And we're going to throw those in, and those are going to be the permanent storage solution for this guy, so it can go into the rack mount, which won't be here for a while. Once it is, we're going to be good to go, and yeah, that's going to be exciting. I'm totally ready to have the rack, have all the stuff mounted into it, and start punching holes in my walls, and get rid of the current weird string of cables that I've done in the last 24 hours, because my wife is definitely ready for that to be over as well. But yeah, so you're going to at least want one of these for your tractor if you're trying to store absolute mountains of tractor data, like I will be, hopefully. So I guess I'll have to make sure that I know that I have the right information, and then I can put it on the video. Nah, this is tractors. We don't really care about disc shelves, do we?